everyone, and welcome to YarnGasm. I'm Kristen, and this is episode 107. It is Cinco de Mayo here in the US, May 5th, 2014, Monday, and I did not have the day off, unlike you guys in Great Britain. So, I understand as far as I understand, it's a bank holiday, May 5th in Great Britain. If that's what you want to call Cinco de Mayo, go right ahead. But yeah, we had to work today, so yeah, no. But anyway, I hope everyone is having a wonderful Monday. And if you're probably watching this, it's probably midweek anyway. But anyway, this is a knitting podcast, so let me, get into what I'm knitting. And again, I have a kitty on my lap who would like to say hello. It's Bella. Say hello, Bella. She is not amused at all. This is like a look of disdain, and I'm just gonna put her back down on my lap before I have my head handed to me. So anyway, yeah, so housekeeping, show notes. Let me consult my show notes. Okay, for those of you that are following along with the Anyman's Jumper Knit Along that I am co-hosting with Ellie, of Ellie's Knit Insanity, we are actually extending the deadline. Yes, it's twofold. One, because there just aren't. I know many of you said that you wanted to join up, but I noticed not a lot of people were joining in the group, and I, for one, am way behind. Ellie had to recast on hers, so we're behind. So we thought it best that we just reestablish a deadline for the knit along to June 14th. That may be a Saturday. Don't quote me on that. But June 14th is the new official deadline, and we will have giveaways and all that good stuff. Prizes, you name it. So I believe two prizes from Ellie and 2 prizes from me of my hand-dyed yarn. So that said, mark your calendars. And what else? Speaking of Ellie and Dave, I had a wonderful hangout with them over the weekend. So I really, really like Google Hangouts. I'm just gonna say it. I do. I think they're ingenious. And if you have not tried a Google Hangout, I highly recommend it. It's so fun. You get to talk to all your friends no matter where you are in the world. It's easy. And yeah. So try Google Hangout today. But what else was I gonna say? Housekeeping notes, nothing substantial or anything like that. The Yarn Fortress, I may no longer have a Yarn Fortress, but don't freak out. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw my new potential Yarn Fortress, because we live in a small apartment, and between the two of us, we've accumulated a bunch of furniture since having moved in, and it's just gotten to the point where we have to really reconsider like our whole layout of our apartment, and we realize, the Yarn Fortress really doesn't make sense in the living room. It's hogging up a lot of space. We have this gorgeous china closet that we purchased on a whim. It was on sale, and it was housing tchotchkes, stuff that we really don't use. I mean, it had some nice china in it and stuff like that, but then it also had, like stuff that my grandparents gave me, that like just clutter, junk, tchotchkes, stuff that I'm never gonna touch or use for that matter, or like stuff that's just not important. So I figured, me and Dennis, we came to a compromise. I'm like, well, if I can make that my Yarn Fortress, it doesn't really scream fortress, it's more nautical. It has a more nautical look, so I'll have to come up with a new name for it. But I think what's going to happen essentially is I'm going to destash a whole bunch of stuff from here, stuff that I don't touch, use, yada yada, and move all my stuff to new said nautical fortress. I don't know, but well, I'm going to come up with a better name for it. But anyway, yeah, I will try to post a photo of that so you guys can get an idea. Plus, it's closer to where my crafting / yarn dyeing shenanigans happen. So we're just consolidating stuff where it makes sense. So yeah, that's about it as far as updates go. Let's get on to what's off my needles. So, as you know, I was knitting on one of my hand-dyed yarns, my Reflector colorway, on my blitzed sock base, and I finished a sock this is the quickest I've ever finished a sock in a long time. I think the quickest I've ever finished a pair of socks, was a couple Christmases ago. I was just speed knitting a bunch of socks for my parents for Christmas because, you know, I'm a procrastinator when it comes to that stuff. I thought, hey, what a great idea to knit my parents a pair of socks at the last minute for Christmas. Yay! So I think I was knitting like a sock a night. Yeah, during the week. But that's when I was getting up at like 6 a.m. every morning just to knit my heart out, and which sadly doesn't happen anymore. I'm getting old, I think. I just can't wake up that early anymore. It's really sad. But anyway, yeah. I finished a sock. I started this not this past weekend, but the weekend before for the pop-up shop. I got, you know, you watched the last episode, so I got really far with that, and then I just kept knitting on to it through all of last week, and I finished it. So now I'm on the second sock. Do not have second sock syndrome, I am happy to report. But yeah, I'm getting very, very well into this one. So I think I'm pretty much done with the leg. Now I'm going to do the reinforced heel. So that's where I am with this. And again, this is my my reflector colorway on my blitzed. Wow, I can't speak tonight. It's Monday. On my blitzed sock base. So you get lots of glitter and stellina in there. I believe it's what is it? 5% stellina, 15% nylon, and if I can do math right, 75% superwash merino. So yeah, very happy with it. Love the way it's turning out, and these are going to be samples. So yeah, and so getting back to the sock pattern that I'm working on for you guys, which I've been promising for eons upon eons. I've not forgotten. I've worked on it over the weekend, and I'm so close to being finished to it. I took photos, I completed writing it, typing it, what you will, and now it's just about putting everything together and just double checking everything. But yes, it's going to be a free pattern. It will be available next weekend for you guys to download. I will announce it like crazy. And yeah, it'll be free for you guys to download. And I'm making it as easy as possible. I'm trying to explain how to knit a sock, the way I knit socks, vanilla socks, as easily as I possibly can. So, and hopefully, you know, you can have fun with that if you're learning to make socks or just looking for a simple, you know, sock recipe to follow, just to guide you along if you're new or just, you know, need a pattern. So, yeah, that said, let's get on to what's still on my needles. And I've got lots. So, as you know, I'm working on I cast on an Ophidian shawl, using my Lush merino nylon cashmere base in Myth, and I've made lots of headway on it. So here we go. Yeah, I have one more pattern repeat to do. So meaning, let me see. So I think these two are one pattern repeat. This is another pattern repeat, and then I'm on the third or I don't know. I have to reevaluate, but I believe I'm on the fourth pattern repeat. So then it's all the lace border, and I'm done. I just have to block it. And this is going to be another sample, but I have lovely beadwork in here. So now I'm up to about 20 beads per row. And it's a little tedious, I'll be honest. It's very tedious with the method that I'm using because, again, if you remember the beads that I purchased, they are smaller than they really should be. They're too small to use on fingering weight yarn. They're more for lace, but I'm making it work by some crazy method using a really tiny crochet hook. So that's working for me, albeit just tedious. It's very tedious. But thankfully I only have to use beads 2 rows per pattern repeat on the chart. So yeah, but yeah, I'm really loving the way this is turning out. You want to get a closer look. So yeah, you know. And it's the Myth colorway. Did I say that? Yeah. And I'm using my Caspian needles. These are, I believe, size 5s, I want to say. I think they're size 5s, but these are Knit Picks Caspians, and I love knitting with these. I think I said it on the last episode, but I really do enjoy knitting with these. The only gripe I'm having with it, and this is with, I feel like, all interchangeable knit picks, interchangeable needles, the screw head comes loose quite often, and I feel like I have to like shove the stitches ahead and like kind of twist it on tighter. I mean, I know it comes with a key. I've never tried the key before. Maybe I should try the key. Key is somewhere around here. I should try it on my own time. So, but you get the idea. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. What else? This is a blast from the past. My Ravele cardigan, my Tempest cardigan by Anne Weaver, which is a free pattern download on, it's not even a download, it's a free pattern from Knitty.com, like vintage Knitty, I almost want to say, because it's been so, it's more, an earlier pattern. I put a dent in it this weekend. I knit one sleeve. So, is this the sleeve? No, this is not the sleeve. Where's the sleeve? Here's the sleeve, and it's all curling up on each other because it's all stockinette. But this is going to be the shoulder. And yeah, you get the idea. That's how long the sleeves are generally going to be. Maybe a little bit longer after I block it. But we have a sleeve. We have two, it's like snakes, two frontal parts and a back. So, and I have to say, I really love this pattern, and it's knitting up super quick. I literally finished the sleeve in a day. If I combined, like I started it a couple like weeks ago. I started the sleeve maybe like 4 weeks ago, and I only knit maybe, where was it? I maybe knit only 2 stripes, and then I dropped it for like, I don't know how many weeks, but then I picked it up on Saturday, and me and Dennis, we took a car trip, or even in the morning, like I maybe within an hour, I was already up to here, and then I had my chat with Ellie and Dave, and then I think I was up to the increases, so I put it down, and then I worked on my sock, and then me and Dennis decided to get out of town a little bit. We took a car drive. Where did we go? We tried going to Connecticut, some of the beaches. I know I'm digressing here, but we figured it was still, the season was still early. They haven't opened all the beaches. And if you go to Greenwich, Connecticut, the beaches are super expensive. If you're not a local and you're from out of town and you don't have a pass, it can go up to $40 per beach entry. Like if you want to get on one of their beaches, it's about $40. So we're like, okay, the season hasn't quite started yet. It's not Labor Day. I'm sorry, Memorial Day weekend. I always get those two confused. But we're like, let's just try and get on one of the beaches. So we drive all the way out there, and I'm knitting away on this. And so this tells the story of my weekend, guys. So we get to the beach, and turns out they are open, and they're charging like $25 per car plus $6 per person. And I looked at Dennis, I was like, it's raining out, and we're probably only going to spend like 20 minutes walking around, and then we're going to want to go because it was already like 5 o'clock. So we just, decided to continue driving around, and we ended up at Rye Playland. And for those of you not familiar with Rye Playland, it's in New York, and it's not quite Six Flags Great Adventure. It's below that. It's kind of like Coney Island. It's like a nicer Coney Island. It was very quiet. The theme park hadn't opened yet. But they had the Ferris wheel, the beach, the boardwalk was brand new. They redid all the wood, but they have all the old original buildings from when it was during the Robert Moses. I'm giving you guys a history lesson. I apologize. I'll be done in a second. But it was built during the time of Robert Moses, during the Great Depression, when there was just no jobs, and he created all these jobs by building highways and apparently Rye Playland. This whole gorgeous boardwalk, and it's really pretty out there. A little eerie because it's still not in season yet, but it was nice, just walking around and just getting out of town. But anyway, I posted photos. So anyway, back to my knitting. So yeah, I basically finished this entire sleeve on Saturday. So yeah, I can probably bang out half a sleeve tonight if I really want to. I don't know, it's like 7:30 p.m. right now, but probably not going to happen. We'll see, because I have lots to talk about, apparently. So yeah, I'm so glad this is coming along. I really want to finish it. One more sleeve to go, and then I just have to block it and seam it, and we're all good. The only gripe I have is this is how much yarn I have left of Blue Lobster. Again, the yarn that I'm using is Cephalopod Yarns in their Skinny Bugga colorway, which is their lovely merino nylon cashmere. And this is Vampire Squid, which is this lovely orange, olive green, yellow. It's lovely. I love it. And then Blue Lobster. I think I can make it. I'm pretty sure I can because it's, yeah. I'm crossing my fingers. If not, I'll just get another skein and then use the rest of it to knit myself a shawlette or something because it's too nice for socks. I don't know. That's how I feel. No. And then Dennis's, for the Annie Man's jumper knit along. I have not put a dent in it. But since we extended the deadline, I'm going to at least cast on tomorrow. If I don't get to it tonight, I will cast on for the second sleeve tomorrow, but I have not made any progress on it. But more on that next episode. I promise I will have made progress on that by next episode. And by the way, my Ophidian shawl is for the I Knit NYC Cal hosted by Kim from Craft Stash. I forgot to mention. So yeah, the theme is basically you can knit any pattern you want. It just, the fiber, you can knit or spin anything that you want. It just has to be, the fiber has to be dyed or the wool has to be dyed or spun by any Brooklyn-based, or not Brooklyn-based, I'm sorry, New York-based fiber artist. So naturally, I decided to use my own. So, yes. And what else? Show notes. Oh, okay. No stash enhancements this week, which is a good and not so good thing. But anyway, I'm going to try and keep this episode a little shorter, although we are at 20 minutes now. So I'm just going to go right into shop update. I didn't have much time to dye this weekend, but I did manage to dye a couple skeins yesterday. So, and these are not reskeined, by the way, so they might look a little messy, but once they're reskeined, they'll, the colors will be more intact and everything, but, or not intact, but, it's more definitive of what they'll look like when they're knit up. So this skein is called, I'm just going to call it Wit, O-U-I, as in French, yes. Because, I don't know, I just love the colors. I mean, the colors seem very French. I don't know, it's like peach, pink, little hints of light blue, navy blue. And again, like this right here, I use ribbon. When I dye it, I usually just dip it in and, it doesn't melt in the boiling water. Not that it's boiling, but, in the hot water. And it doesn't dye. So, and it makes it easy for me to keep the strands from the tangle fairies. So, yeah, so this is one color. And again, it's not reskeined, so you can see, I'll just undo this for you guys so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm dealing with. So, and I do this by submersive dyeing. I basically, heat up a pot of water, pour some citric acid in, and then add the dye, mix it around, wait for it to dissolve, dip the whole skein in, and then I just kind of like sprinkle in whatever color suits my fancy. So this one has like a lot of grays, again, like the peach, and then the grays, and then the navy blues. So I really love the way this turned out. It's very pastel-y, which is really not my speed, but I think the navy blue kind of breaks it up a little bit and makes it a little bit more sophisticated, if you will. So yeah, I have to skein this up the right way, but just for now, let's put this like that. And then what else? As usual, I end up dyeing like very sea-inspired colors. So this is like I haven't really named it yet. It's teal, browns. I love the way it turned out though. Like greens. Very Caribbean. maybe I'm just like pining for Mexico. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but me and Dennis in 2 weeks from Memorial Day weekend, we're going to the south of Cancun, which I am so looking forward to because we need a vacation so bad. I need a vacation. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like breaking out. Like I have stress pimples. It's bad. Just cake on the concealer, you know, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, that's one. I digress. Another one that I dyed up is, I haven't named this one yet, but I feel like this week I reverted back to my kind of like romantic goth kind of colorways. I don't know, I was just feeling it. But this one's like a very deep mauve, with a little bit of purple in there, and then like little accents of olive green. So not too overpowering, but just like a little hint of olive green in there. But I really enjoyed the way this came out. And this is on my new fingering base. It's Silky, which is a single ply, what is it? I think 30% silk and a 70% superwash merino. Can't do math. But yeah, that's what this consists of. And it's so soft and it like shines. I really, really like the way this turned out. And then I got a little crazy. I went to town on the fuchsia because I got this new dye that I was excited about, and I'm like, you know, I have to make it work because it just can't be like this bright fuchsia. So I kind of toned it down with certain shades and everything, and I really love the way this turned out. It's kind of blowing up the camera right now, but honestly, like in person, it's very like, how do I describe it? It's vibrant. It's like a deep, rich magenta with like hints of lavender and dark purples, and yeah, like little hints of, you know, bright, like light pink in there somewhere. Not too light, but you know, just a lighter version of this bright, bold color. So I haven't named it yet either, but neighbors. But yeah, I really like the way it turned out. And then I dyed a couple of regular stuff. I actually dyed 2 skeins of Nevermore and Poe in my Lush base, my merino nylon cashmere, because I was getting jealous. Because every time I listed it on the Etsy page, I would look at it and be like, I'm just going to take it down because I really want to knit something with it. I love those colors. And every time I was not just about, but like, you know, contemplating it, or, you know, I let it go for a little bit, someone nabbed it and I was like, no, why? Okay. Yeah. So I dyed those up specifically for myself, and that's what I'm going to, I haven't decided what I'm going to knit with it. Maybe a Cladonia or a Daybreak shawl or something stripy. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, let me see. Oh, and before I forget, I am actually donating 2 skeins to, if you watch the Stockinette Zombies, they are hosting the Zombie Knitpocalypse retreat. It's going to happen through June 19th, which is a Thursday, through Thursday, June 19th through Sunday, June 22nd, in Rochester, Minnesota. And I'm donating 2 skeins as doorway prizes. So unfortunately I cannot make it. I would love to one year, because it sounds like so much fun, but just FYI, if you haven't given their show a watch, check them out. Amy and Megan, they are hysterical. They are like your 2 best friends just hanging out in your living room having a chat about knitting, and they can go on forever and ever, and they are FOC, friend of cat. So you know how I sit here with a cat on my lap sometimes? They sit there with cats on their laps sometimes. All the time, actually. So anyway, I really, really enjoy their podcast, so you should give them a watch and enjoy them too. So that's pretty much it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether you're new or returning. I feel like I always forget to mention this at the beginning and end of every episode, but I just want to, you know, let you guys know how much I really enjoy hearing from you, whether it be it on Ravelry, Twitter, Instagram. I love hearing from you guys. And I really, you know, I love it. I love hearing how much you enjoy the show, and I love, you know, suggestions too. So, you know, if there's something that you want to hear more about, or not so much about, please let me know. Happy to, take everything into consideration, and I will always get back to you. So yeah, please join the Facebook group. There's a YarnGasm Facebook group. We are at 110 members on there. The Ravelry group is hitting 1,000. I feel like I should do a giveaway or have a contest or something. I don't know, but I want to do something because 1,000 members for the Ravelry group, that is huge. So I want to thank you guys in some way. But yeah, there is also, if you're interested in, my hand-dyed yarn or whatever, there's a Voolenvine yarns Facebook page as well, a YarnGasm Voolenvine Yarns Ravelry thread as well. You can find all that information, be it on my blog or my website, voolenvine.com, VOOLENVINE.com. So, now that that's all out of the way, I wish everybody a happy week, happy Cinco de Mayo, don't drink too much, happy hangover, whatever. But anyway, that said, happy knitting. I'll see you next time. Bye.